everyone is having a great day. I'm Dr. James Marcum with another biblical prescription for life. Today, I'm going to talk about a subject that I get asked about many times a week in the office, and many of you have also asked this question. How do I choose my physician? How do I choose my provider? Well, I'm going to give you some insights from a medical professional, someone that's been doing this for over 30 years now. And you can use your brain and see what works for you. But hopefully a few of these insights will help you in making this choice. But before we talk about how to choose a physician or provider, let's talk about a biblical prescription, something from the Word of God, where God can communicate with us. And the text I've chosen today is Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your father serves that were on the other side of the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So choosing free will is very important to God. And in this text, choose this day, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not 3 days. Choose this day whom you will serve. That's pretty simple. And yet it's a choice. It's something you have a choice to do. Well, that also is important in choosing your physicians or providers. And I must admit, over my 30 years of practice, things have changed quite a bit in the field of medicine. But before we try to tackle that question, let's look at some of the benefits of modern medicine as we see it today. Well, I think modern medicine is very good for emergencies. If you're bleeding to death, if you have a terrible infection, if you're having a heart attack, if you're having a stroke, if you're having a pulmonary embolism, those are great places for modern medicine. Before we had those things, people would die. Before we had anesthesia, something as simple as a gallbladder surgery now, people would die from. So modern medicine is good for emergencies. And I also think it's very good for replacing parts that wear out. Some people have a knee that wears out, need a new knee. Someone has a heart valve that gets old. Sometimes the wires of the heart get old and we put in a pacemaker. So I think modern medicine is good at replacing parts that wear out. Also, I think modern medicine is good at identifying diseases early on where we might intervene and make a difference. Well, the early management of diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, the early management of gaining extra weight or developing mental problems, the early detection of cancer, especially colon cancer, which detected early, it's important, and same for breast cancer. So modern medicine is good at those things. Where does modern medicine lack? Well, I think modern medicine lacks sometimes in finding out why disease occurs. I think sometimes we're not as strong as we can about preventing and reversing disease with nutrition, mental health, exercise, things of that nature. And sometimes I think we're not good at modern medicine at looking at the big picture and teaching people who the real healer is. I think we're weak on those things. So with that said, how do you choose a provider for yourself? Well, a lot of it depends on your own personal beliefs, your belief systems. And it's very important, I think, not to go against your belief systems. When you go against your belief systems, this puts stress on the body. Stress is not good. It enhances aging and inflammation and genetic changes. So I think it's very important for you to go with your belief system. And more importantly, I think it's important to have a belief system that you believe, that's all yours, that's not someone else. And for me, the ultimate authority for my belief system, I like to have a biblical authority, God, Jesus, the Word. So it's important. Identify what your belief system is. So once you've had those two things thought about real well, the next thing I would recommend you doing is praying about it. Give it to God. He's interested in every detail of your life, including who your physicians are, your providers are. He's interested in everything. So he wants to be a part of your decision-making. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. In all things, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. He wants to be a part of your decision-making tree. So pray and ask him to lead you to who you might choose as your provider. It surprises me that some people spend more time choosing a restaurant or choosing a bank or choosing a store, more time doing that than they do in choosing a provider. And yet your provider will sometimes go through some of the hardest things in life with you. So take some time to start praying about this decision. The next thing, after you identify your belief systems, pray about it, take charge. You be the owner of your health. You be a physician that's part of the team. You know, you have a role in healing, in making these choices, asking God to help you. So you take charge. Don't depend on other people. You can read, you can do research, you can ask questions. So take charge of your health. Just don't assume that someone else will do it. Third, in choosing a provider, try to find someone that will partner with you on your belief systems. For instance, today I had someone come in. I said, listen, you know, the cigarettes are very important. You've already had a stent. It's your choice. Would you choose to give up cigarettes, or would you choose to have a greater chance of lung disease, cancer, problems with the stent, heart attack, strokes? It's your decision. I recommend you not doing this. I'll help you learn how. I'll pray for you. We'll introduce you to a creator that can help as well. But if you want to do that, that's your decision. And I'm going to be there to help you whatever way. But no matter what, I want you to have Christ in your life, because his grace makes up for our weaknesses. So try to partner with someone that shares some of your beliefs, or at least that will work with you. If you don't do this, the partnership can be very frustrating. And don't feel bad if something doesn't work out because of personalities or the way they practice. It's okay to try different people. But remember, in this day and age, medicine isn't what it used to be. Nowadays, I'm having less time to spend with patients, more time with paperwork, less time to help them in all these other issues. So you have to take charge, like I said yourself. Go to the internet, read, have your plan of action of how you want to keep your body in great shape. And remember, providers really help the most in emergencies, replacing parts, and helping identify disease before it gets out of hand. Another important thing is understand the limitations in choosing. You might not be able to choose based on your insurance programs. I definitely would not depend on the internet anymore. Sometimes if people don't like you, or you say something that they don't like to hear, even if it's true, they'll write something bad about you that gets on the internet, and the bad patients tend to write more than the good ones. So you can't totally depend on that. But I would go with word of mouth, what your friends and neighbors say, and where your prayers lead you. So that's very important too. Word of mouth after you understand the limitations of the systems. And finally, be willing to look at the big picture. Remember, you're going to a provider. He doesn't have to do everything. You can, if he's not working on some of the preventive medicines and healthy eating, you can take charge of that part yourself. You know, let him know what you want him to help you most to do. Communicate. Say, listen, I just want you to be there for emergencies, to replace my parts and to screen. I'll take care of this, but if you can give me suggestions, that's great. Try to work with somebody that will work with your own natural physiology, that won't jump to medicines right away, that will give you the chance, if you want, to manage this naturally with exercise, nutrition, healthy things, mental exercises, things of that you can do, more rest, because that way you can change your physiology natural and don't have to take the risk of side effects of medications. And if you do have medications, learn about them yourselves. Take them responsibly. Again, take charge. So, how to choose a physician and a provider requires lots of thinking, some trial and error, understanding your role, what you want to be, and lots of prayer. Talk to your friends and neighbors, see who works for them. And if you have a specific question, we'd love to help you. But be careful. If it's not working out, go to someone that you trust. Go to someone that you feel good about. But remember, there's lots of limitations on the providers. The providers would love to spend all day with you, but sometimes they just have 10 to 15 minutes with the patient. They have to do the paperwork. They're busy. There seems to be more illness than ever before. But remember, healing comes from many different avenues. Healing comes, of course, from your God, your relationship with Him, what you can learn, and how you can implement healthy habits. And that's why we've had resources like our Bible study where you can learn more about biblical healing. You can learn about the place for modern medicine through questions we ask and through this website. So remember, it's a complex decision, but spend some time making a good decision in thoughtful prayer. Well, I'm Dr. James Marcum, and if you like this, share it with a friend. Here's a YouTube card. Give it a thumbs up. If you have some better suggestions, we welcome them. Just write them down so other people can read them. We have a newsletter. We have a daily worship study you can become involved in. And we just want to spread the love of Jesus with as many people as we can while people are interested. And we want to do this by helping them have better health, giving them education so they can make good decisions. And one good decision you can make is found in Joshua 24. Choose you this day whom you will serve. So God gives us choice. Free will is important to God. And Joshua said, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I'm Dr. James Marcum, wishing you the best of health.